The 17-men lineups just before kick-off. Downstairs again to Rod Stud.
Yeah, thanks, Eddie. Well, you're right in saying that Gareth Hopp returns for Widnes. A host of changes from the side that played in the Cup against Doncaster last weekend. And amongst the returnees, Rhys Hambry, their leading try scorer with 8. He starts at full-back. Then the outside backs, Willie Isa, Christine, Cameron Phelps and Patrick Arvan. The half-back combination, Kevin Brown and Joe Mellor. The Widnes forwards, Ben Cross, John Clark, their captain, and Eamon O'Carroll in the front row. Frank Winterstein, Gareth Hopp, Parramatta Eels bound, and McGrath Luluai completing the run on 13 for the Vikings. And on the bench, Steve Pickersgill, Lloyd White, Phil Joseph, and Adam Lawton for the coach, Dennis Betts. The visiting Wakefield Trinity Wildcats, again with 10 changes from the side that played in the Cup last weekend. Lee Smith is at fullback. Peter Fox is their top try scorer with 10 tries this season. He's on the right wing. Ben Cockayne is on the left. Dean Collis and Rhys Lynn are the centres. The half-back combination for the Wildcats, Paul Sykes and the mercurial Tim Smith. Then the forwards, Justin Poore at a late withdrawal with a knee problem, so Oliver Wilkes comes into the front row alongside Paul Ayton and Andy Raleigh. Ali Lauatiti, Danny Kermon, the captain, and Danny Washbrook, the run on 13 for Wakefield. And on the bench, two Kyles in Kyle Wood and Kyle Amor, Vince Mellors and Chris Anakin, and the Wildcats coach is Richard Agar.
Thanks, Rod. All the team news then, and here they come, the Wildcats. Lost each of the last 3 in Super League. It's just 1 win in their last 8. That was the big derby tussle with the Castleford Tigers on Good Friday. Rod's right, 10 players returning to the side after missing last week's Cup demolition of the Hemel Stags. Like Widnes, they do have match in hand on the rest. Both of the games for Widnes and Wakefield against the Leeds Rhinos. They are 2 points adrift, though, of the Widnes Vikings. Are Wakefield 5 points right now of a playoff place. Unbeaten, this lot, in their last 4 home games, but it is still just 2 wins from the last 7 in Super League. They beat Doncaster in the Cup last week, 42-28. It was a bit of a struggle, to say the least, but at least for Dennis Betts, he recorded his 50th win as a head coach. Beaten in the first home game of 2013 against St Helens. A stormy affair as Ben Cross was sent off. John Clark sin-binned. Tonight they have a chance to really build on some great home form under the control of Ben Thaler, the big match referee. Patrick Arvan is preparing to get this game underway in around about 15 seconds time. And I must say, it is a vital match, this, for both of these clubs, as we have been saying from the start of the programme tonight. We're underway then, and Arvan's kick bounces on this artificial surface, and it's a good chase from the kickoff, led by Frank Winterstein.
Don't be surprised if nerves plays its part in the opening 5-10 minutes. Both the players and, of course, both the coaches, Dennis Betts and Richard Agar, fully aware of the importance of the 2 vital league points tonight. Especially Wakefield, if they go down tonight, they can really struggle. They will struggle. But beautiful play on that allowed right-hand side.
And Dean Collis with a hack forward, looking for Paul Ayton, and he has picked the pocket of the Widnes defender, and Ayton goes over for the first try inside 40 seconds. Try for Wakefield. What a start, and what a start for Paul Ayton. Some people in Wakefield just a little miffed that Ayton wasn't named in the exile squad to face England at Warrington on the 14th of June this week. And Ayton, no doubt, a little bit stung as well, the Papua New Guinea international, and what a start for him and his side.
Beautiful pass. Smith got them away out on that right-hand side. And this really is a superb kick back on into the middle. And Ayton, as you say, Eddie, has just picked the pocket. 40 seconds. Surely somewhere near a record for Super League. Well, we mentioned the fact before the kick-off that Lee Smith perhaps would just choose and select when he could chime into that 3-quarter line. He certainly did that early. It was a big gamble. They did it well and truly in their own quarter. And this fella, the hooker, Paul Ayton, Well, a stunned the home crowd. What a start for the visitors.
And Paul Sykes with the opportunity from bang in front to make it a 6-0 advantage early, which he does with ease with that left foot. Well, Paul Ayton, captain of Papua New Guinea in the 2010 Four Nations in Australia, the perfect start.
Playing in the hooker position is one of the most physically difficult roles in rugby league. But I want to watch Paul Ayton's effort. He passed the ball at the play of the ball, and it was his lung-busting run up the middle, backing up, just in case anything happened. He's rewarded with a try for his physical efforts.
Yeah, it's a great field position. All hookers should do that when the ball goes out, either left or right. All you got to do is just go down that central channel, and that is what Ayton did.
Well, it's a real wake-up call for the Vikings, and this is Andy Raleigh for the Wildcats. There's their coach, Richard Agar. 3 wins from 11 so far for him. It's almost identical to the position at this stage last year when they made it to the playoffs thanks to that 7 wins in a row at the end of the campaign. So he isn't terribly concerned about the fact that they come into this match searching for a little bit of form. He says they've been very close in so many of the matches lately.
Well, Eddie, just look at the last 3 games against teams inside the top 8. They've scored 80 points in total. They can get across the try line, that's not a problem. And I think we're certainly in for a high-scoring game tonight.
Well, Ben Cross had to get down quickly there and got a bang on the head for his pains as well. And Sykes tried to pinch the ball from him as he laid on the ground. Widnes have got it back with Reece Hanbury.
It was good work there, wasn't it, by Ben Cross? Had to be, but I think that Willie Isa has come off real badly. It was his own player that went straight into it. He's a big unit, isn't he, Ben Cross?
Yes, Isa and Cross back up on their feet. Here is Ben Cross now driving the ball in. A little bit of a crisis early then for Dennis Betts, the Widnes coach. Kevin Brown, though, gets the ball out to Gareth Hock, and it went backwards, so they're asking for 6 to go. Widnes, it's not forthcoming. Patrick Arvan, down that line, Arvan.
Oh, great play. Good defence, though. Washbrook got back there just in time.
Clark from dummy half finds Kevin Brown. He'll dab it towards the in-goal area. Horrible bounce, and it's bounced eventually for a try, possibly by Brown. This will be handed upstairs to the video referee, Steve Ganson. Grounding, pushing, onside, offside. Steve Ganson's got a job on his hands here.
Well, they're onside on this right hand. That's fine. Quite a few on that left, but they're not involved in it. Beautiful kick through from Kevin Brown. Now Lee Smith made a right meal of this. Now he's pushed off. He's pushed away from it, isn't it? This will be a try.
It was a push on Joe Mellor. What an awful bounce for Lee Smith to deal with.
Yeah, and then here's the push. No doubt in my mind, you can see there Joe Mellor was pushed away.
It was Reece-Lynn who tried to get the ball for Wakefield, but I think this is going to be given the green light by Steve Ganson, and indeed it is.
Well, 2 kicks inside the first 5 minutes. The most of the ball gone to the attacking team on both occasions, and we'll probably get it with a 6-all here. I said, Eddie, this probably looked like a basketball match at the end of the game. Here's the 6 more tackles. Gareth Fox seems to have lost the ball backwards. The referee shouted play on, and Hanbury then got on the outside of his men. And Kevin Brown, who's really the brains unit for the Widnes side, puts in an awkward kick for the Vikings to chase up. And in the end, he's the one who gets there firstly to ground it and to get the first try for Widnes here tonight.
Well, not surprisingly, on this artificial pitch, that's the reason why the ball bounced. And on a normal pitch, perhaps it wouldn't have been as difficult for the fullback Lee Smith. Either way, the Widnes home turf has helped them.
Arvan adds the extras. We've had 2 tries in the opening 5 minutes, and it's level pegging, 6-all.
Well, both sides, I thought perhaps would just feel each other out, see who would get on top in the forwards. But the ability to keep it, and the kick there from Kevin Brown. On a normal pitch, I don't think that would have bounced all that high, and that's the reason why Smith and this guy, well, they've hit back very soon.
Yes, great response, great response, and Cross with a drive forward, and Kerman stood his ground bravely. He got a bang in the chest for his pains as well, did Kermon.
He's a great addition, you know, to Dennis Betts' side. Ben Cross is tough and compromising, gets through a lot of work.
There is Ben Cross. He has seen red this season. Here's Gareth Hock. Good tackling in the end it was by Oliver Wilkes, who was brought into the side because Justin Paul was ruled out fairly late on. They're on halfway, Widnes, and this is the last. Expect the kick from Brown, and Lee Smith will be after this. He won't want to let this one bounce. He did, and it found its way to the touchline. I must say, if you look every time the ball bounces, just watch the black rubber come up off the pitch there, bang. They really have filled in this pitch a bit this year. Have a look at it here. Look at that.
Yeah.
And I walked across it myself, actually, from the one corner to the other. It's soft, a bit slippy.
You got slippers on.
But I've got slippers on, yeah. I've not got studs, you're right. But would you like to have played on this, Brian? Because it's built for speed, this pitch.
I think all the players are used to it now. You're right. It's going to be dry conditions and good conditions underfoot. So people have got used to it by now, and I think John Wells spoke about it before the game. It's more credit to the performance of Widnes that they've been winning games at home as opposed to really the 4G pitch.
Absolutely. This is Eamon O'Carroll too slow off the grounded player, Peter Fox. Penalties forthcoming.
And not only that, why give a facial? You know, it irritates me. They do all the hard work, get the shoulder into it, get the impact, and then when they get enough off the ground, they give them a facial. Ridiculous.
That's a good tackling again by Ben Cross. You're right, when he's in this sort of mood as he appears to be here tonight, he's quite an asset. Ayton, Papua New Guinea international. Sykes, good movement from Wakefield. Reece Lynn, though, is dumped to the ground. That's a tremendous tackle. And it was Willie Isa who performed it. Here is Ben Cockayne, the member of the England elite training squad for the Exiles game on the 14th of June. Now Raleigh up the middle.
Boy, the Widnes defence, they're really fast.
Last one here for Wakefield. He'll go up off the boot of Tim Smith, outside of the boot as well, but too far. Out on the fall, ball will be brought back. He puts his hand up.
Yeah, he knows
acknowledges the mistake.
Yeah, he knows he should have done better than that. Good position, just wasted, and he knows it. He's such a quality player for this coach, Richard Agar. Well, perhaps would have been a little bit disappointed the way that Widnes fought back and got so much progress down on that left-hand side.
Eddie Phil spoke about before the game about getting the ball to Gareth Hock on the left-hand side for Widnes Vikings. It might go to his direction now. And what a difficult player he is to contain because he can offload. I'll let you take that commentary.
Yeah, it was a great offload, wasn't it?
But there's a man on the left-hand side for Wakefield, Eddie, who could do the very same, Ali Lauatiti. Watch for him trying to pick out Joe Mellor as much as he can. Number 14 for the Widnes Vikings. Having that man Lauatiti running at him will mean he's in for a big day.
John Clark, dummy half for Widnes. Brown goes back the same way, finds Clark. Was that touched? Was that touched? No, it's the last tackle, says the referee here for Widnes. So there's the kick down the line.
Good kick as well. That's all you got to do, utilise that short blind side. It looks as though Gareth Hock picked up a bit of a knock there. He was very, very slow to get to his feet. Then did the ball hit the mat? No, it hit his own player, Gareth Hock. Good refereeing, Ben Thaler.
Eamon O'Carroll and the referee just having a bit of a chin wag. They've beaten Hull, Warrington, Salford and Doncaster here at home. Widnes, they've drawn with the Bradford Bulls. Can they capitalise on that home form here tonight? It'll be difficult with people like Lauatiti around, as we've highlighted.
Well,
and Ayton behind him at dummy half as well.
Just saying, Eddie, that Dennis Betts, OK, they struggled last year, finished bottom of the pile, but they've improved, and Betts made it quite clear that all they have to do, if they win all their home games from here on in, that virtually will guarantee them a playoff spot.
Easier said than done. Here is Lauatiti. Look at that ball in his hand. There's the offload. Gets it away to Rhys Lynn. Good handing, though, by Joe Mellor. It's the last tackle here for Wakefield. Sykes puts boot to ball. It goes down the line. Bounces kindly for Hanbury.
You're right, Eddie. You've got to pick up on the point there again that Joe Mellor not only harassed for the first tackle, but then was desperate to get to the kicker and put him under pressure. It clearly helped Rhys Hanbury to get the ball and attack then immediately.
Willie Isa bringing the ball forward, formerly with the Cassava Tigers on a 2-year deal. We'll see the Tigers, of course, tomorrow live on Sky Sports at Salford. Brian Noble's first game as Salford City Reds coach, and it's live with us Saturday evening, 6:30. Sky Sports 3 HD will be there.
Big
and
error
he's
there.
really looking forward to it, is Brian Noble as well.
Saying big error there by Kevin Brown. It wasn't the best pass from John Clark. It was a bullet pass right onto his chest.
Sykes, good hands from Wakefield. Lynn, though, is cut down again by Isa's tackle, and 2 more coming in over the top. There's Danny Washbrook. He finds Lauatiti. He might be getting on in years, Ali Lauatiti, 33 years young, but he's lost none of his enthusiasm. Neither's this fellow, Paul Ayton. Gets to within 6 metres or so of the posts, and here is Tim Smith, who stabbed the kick in. That bounced all over the place, dropped on gratefully by O'Carroll.
Well, the idea was good, but it was picked up by Kevin Brown, got the foot to it. Actually, it was Gareth Hock in the end. What always amazes me, it's the Widnes side, of course, they know how to play out on this pitch. It's difficult for the opposition as to whether you go to the air or do you punch it in. Does it skid? Sometimes it bounces, as we saw when Lee Smith was beaten with the ball.
Now Christine down this right-hand side, goes inside Ben Cockayne, who does actually very well. Was snaked out the arm, and with the help of Tim Smith brought him down. This is John Clark, booms the pass into midfield to Brown. Brown then gets further wide to Arvan. Arvan backs himself and backs Gareth Hock. Oh, and it was a good job that Sykes got a foot to that ball and knocked it dead.
Once again, attacking on that left-hand side. Wakefield have a big problem. Sykes came to the rescue. Arvan, beautiful chip through. Hock just couldn't get there. Sykes certainly could. Just got the fingertips, or should I say the toes, in there in the end. But a big problem for Wakefield coach Richard Agar.
There is, because Oliver Wilkes is down as well. The late replacement for Justin Poor in the front row, but he looks like he's okay. He's going back behind the line now, awaiting this goal line dropout.
Well, it's obvious that Dennis Betts, the Widnes coach, fully aware that Paul Sykes standing out in that defence on that right-hand fringe. He's got to make sure that they're solid in the defence.
Paul Sykes is taking his time. The referee wants him to get on with it, even though he has held up the clock. Remember, they won here at the start of last year on the Vikings' return to Super League. They also won here 44 points to 18 in July 2005. So Wakefield hunting a 3rd straight win on this ground. The win in 2005 was their biggest ever here in Widnes. 13.5 minutes gone. Widnes, though, attacking this Wakefield try line here. And Mellor, little jinking run, gets a big see you later into the face of Tim Smith. And then, I was going to say he lost the ball, but
no, it was
Ben Taylor agrees with you. Was Wilkes the culprit?
Certainly got the arm under him. Interesting to see there. I think it might have been Lauatiti that got the final little flick.
He seemed to have bought a plan. When they were going left, he had all players running all sorts of shapes and lines, and then I don't know, he didn't like what he saw and he turned back on himself. Mellor will they set up for it again here?
Here is Mellor, short ball, Ben Cross. He ran into a brick wall there, didn't he? John Clark comes wide to Brown. He tries to get away from Danny Kermon, the Wakefield skipper. Impossible to do.
He was looking for the inside pass, but they came a little bit too early.
And Clark looked left, came right, find Mellor. Mellor is enveloped by Ali Lauatiti.
Clark on his own, throw the dummy.
They'll give the ball to Hock, who'll charge through.
He's dropped it.
And the referee won't hand that upstairs. He's confident in what he's seen.
Well, the idea was there, and you could see the Hock was piling onto the pass. Just couldn't keep hold of it. Lost it at the vital moment. Should have been a try.
Plenty of speed in this Wakefield side. Yes, he did. He just lost it. And here's another penalty as we watch this. The referee's whistle, you could probably hear it in the background, sounded because Ben Cross has conceded another penalty. Late flop and then a mess and a fiddle round on Ben Cockayne.
It's what Wakefield do very well. Peter Fox took the tap, the quick tap, got as many metres upfield as he could, and then Ben Cockayne came from the left wing into dummy half position, ran and played it as quick as he possibly could. Too quick for the Widnes defenders, and he's earned his team a penalty. It's great play from the two outside backs.
Wigan sits up at Hull.
Is this one of these 12-point turnarounds we talk about? Gareth Fox not putting the ball down at one end of the field, and less than 60 seconds later, there's every chance Wakefield might do.
They might do because Andy Riley gets to his feet. And here is Tim Smith, a no-look pass finds Paul Sykes. Important tackle that by Winterstein. Ayton scampers in at dummy half again. He finds Tim Smith. Tim Smith then pops it up to Raleigh. And Raleigh will drive it in towards the Widnes post once again and goes down on tackle number 3. Ayton is there once more. He then gets it away to Smith. And Smith with an outrageous dummy. And it is a 12-point turnaround. Gareth Hock should have scored at the other end. And in the blink of an eye, Tim Smith scores at the opposite end. And the 2005 NRL Rookie of the Year in Australia gets his second try of 2013. Tim Smith for the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats, and he restores their lead.
Well, it could have been the other way around. Widnes could have been taking the lead, but Hock dropped the ball. And then a wonderful run by Cockayne. They got the penalty, and this is outrageous, as you mentioned, Eddie. Boy, did they take that one. This is a sucker punch. Boom. Gareth Hock, he wanted the man that was supposed to get the ball, but the man threw the dummy, and there he is, Tim Smith.
Well, last February he made his debut on this ground, Tim Smith. He scored a try that night as Wakefield ruined Widnes' first night party, and he took home the Man of the Match award as well.
Eddie, it was the same try. They were in the same part of the field, that far from the try line, with players around him, and he knew if he threw the dummy, the players would probably hang off him. He put himself through the gap. But I think we also need to give Wakefield's defence some credit. There's 2 more points are added onto their total, because Kermond and Washbrook have to be brave when something as big as Gareth Hock's running at you near the try line. They stopped him getting the ball down at one end, and then with some quick thinking and some quick play, they got to the other end and scored points.
Well, they're on course, Richard Agar's men, for a third away win.
It just shows
this
you.
year they've beaten London and Castleford away.
Just shows you the importance, Eddie, of good work, as Brian mentioned earlier, especially from Ben Cockayne. Taking that ball through, OK, they got the penalty, but it's such hard work from wingers that really helps the side.
It certainly helped them get down the field, but John Wells will highlight at half-time Tim Smith's effort in setting up for that play. Phil spoke about defenders hanging off him. It's because Tim Smith has dragged Oliver Wilkes onto his inside shoulder, forcing McGrath Luluai to pay attention to Wilkes, and that opened up a huge gap for Tim Smith to do what a halfback needs to do first, challenge the line with a run. Great structural try from Tim Smith.
And Wakefield threatening that Widnes goal line again here, with Smith once more, pops it up to Kyle Amor, who's coming off the bench.
Good solid hard work by the Wakefield forwards.
This is the last one for Wakefield. Smith, and Hock missed him, thankfully. Little dab through, and almost a fumble, but Willie Isa to the rescue. I think the referee spotted a raised elbow by Hock. He's asked for the touch judge to come on and get a view from him. Let's see what he says.
Contact's marginal if it's anything.
If it's anything, it's marginal.
It was marginal.
But did he take it in with his shoulder or what?
I wasn't sure, it was just a challenge.
So it's a normal challenge. Tackle one. Tackle
Was he checking for a shoulder charge?
I think he possibly was, but I think I saw a raised elbow as well, as Hock missed his challenge, maybe mistimed his challenge.
Go, tackle one. Back on, Dave.
Well, maybe the touch judge has made it quite clear to the official, which he did, in regards that I don't think he made contact.
No, I said at the time Hock missed him, thankfully.
Yep, he tried.
It was a contact. He did make contact.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the touch judge ended up saying it was just a normal challenge. He saw something, but perhaps didn't have the conviction to go through and say, yes, it was a shoulder charge.
But he doesn't get the opportunity that we do to go back and check.
But he's raised his flag for a reason.
Well, I wonder if did he raise his flag, Brian? Did you see the flag go up, or did Ben just call him on?
Kevin Brown. Kevin!
By the looks of the touch judge, he's been out in the sun this week.
Well, it did arrive. About time too. Oh, come here to Daddy, and that Daddy was Gareth Hawk.
Wait! Go.
Raleigh trying to get through Winterstein and McGrath, Luluai and Ben Cross to him very quickly.
I reckon Dennis Bates has got the message out and say, come on, we want to be a little bit more ruthless in this defence. And they're certainly doing that now. That was lost, wasn't played correctly.
Here's Paul Sykes for the Wildcats. We're midway through this first half. Wakefield leading 12-6. Ayton fires it to Smith. We're on the lasso. Up it goes into the air.
Oh, it's a dodgy one.
No, very well taken.
Well, I don't think Cameron Phelps enjoyed that.
Well, there's a bit of a piggyback by Danny Kermond and a bit of gymnastics to finish off as well.
You know, you'd have to say Wakefield are doing pretty well. I think the three green lights tell you that they're doing dominant in the three key areas of the game, and I think there's a physical battle just heating up a bit more in the middle now. Both teams trying to assert themselves.
Nice ball from Brown to Arvan. He takes the return as well and gives it back to Patrick Arvan. Arvan gets the ball away and he squandered it.
Why didn't he go for the line?
Well, Lauatiti's going for the line at the other end, and a good job that the defender was there to bring Peter Fox down. It was Lloyd White.
Yeah, the substitute. Why he didn't just try to launch himself to it rather than offload. That's sheer panic.
Chance gone for Widnes. Two chances they put down, really.
Or is it good scramble defence?
Bit of both.
There's two ways of looking at it. They did work very hard Wakefield when the line was initially broken.
Oh, what a pass from Lauatiti.
Tremendous.
Finds Reece Lynn. And Reece Lynn, in the end, finds the defender, Frank Winterstein. Here's the last again. Smith had to get very low for that. That's a ricochet all over the shop, and Gareth Hogg gratefully picks it up.
Well, Tim Smith's claiming to the official that he was offside. I'm not so sure. I don't think it was. It was a kick into a pile of legs.
Well, we've seen what will be the two major action areas. Phil spoke before the game about the left-hand side for Widnes Vikings, and they are having some joy there. And of course, the left-hand side through Ali Lauatiti for the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats also should yield them some results in this game.
John Clark just over halfway.
That was Lloyd White, and here is Winterstein.
You've got to take your opportunities, and Widnes have blown two occasions.
Brown will hoist this high. It's deep. It's
a good one.
It's hanging. It's well claimed by Peter Fox, and Gareth Hawk immediately brings him to ground.
And good timing by Hawk as well. Made sure that Smith took that ball first, then got the hit. Sorry, Peter Fox.
Obviously a major falling out between Gareth Hawk and Wigan. That's why he is here at Widnes in 2013. A shame that we won't be seeing him next season. He's off to the Parramatta Eels in the NRL. It has been announced this week, along with Lee Mossop and Pat Richards, now we hear. Three Wiganers leaving for Australia.
And don't hold your breath, Eddie. I think there are quite a few more following.
Well, let's hope not. Let's hope that the Super League clubs can get together and stop this exodus, stop the brain drain from Super League to the NRL.
You're right, and let's hope that they do quickly.
Well, Widnes will be relieved to see that Ali Lauatiti has been withdrawn, because he's caused untold havoc for them down this left-hand channel for Wakefield. But it's Widnes who are in possession here with Kevin Brown. Good tackle by Fox. Tremendous tackle on Cameron Phelps, and he felt that, did Phelps. Here's Phil Joseph.
He knows how to go forward. Very athletic. Good work on that short blind side.
Brown with a little drop of the shoulder, gets the ball away somehow. Hanbury picks it up, bounces off two. Dragged to the ground on the last tackle. Expect the kick here. It's with Clark, it's with Brown, and he slides the kick into the in-goal area, but that will be allowed to run dead by Lee Smith.
Just a little bit too strong there from Brown. Realised it as well. They want to get on with it quickly.
Oh, and he's got on with it very quickly as Lee Smith. An important tackle that by John Clark. Here's Cockayne, they have some pace.
There's a bit of afters there, pushing and shoving. They're only handbags. Nothing was thrown. It looked as though there was a punch coming.
Cockayne gets the ball away. This is Mellors.
I'd like to see later if Lee Smith actually made any contact with the ball. It's great to see quick restarts in the game. I love the fast play that we get, but we've got to make sure we make contact here because Widnes weren't back. The referee wasn't sure, and here the Vikings are just going to come up with it again.
It's got to be a knock on. Oh, they've got away with it.
Wipe the tackle count down. That could have been a knock on both ways, at least.
Well, this is
Amor.
Ideal position now for Tim Smith. He's shouting out the orders. Keep an eye on the fullback Lee Smith.
Hull on the board against Wigan. Here it's 12-6 Wakefield, 26 minutes or thereabouts of the first half gone, and 8 and 10 metres away finds Tim Smith again. Smith gets the ball infield to Amor.
Great tackle by Phil Joseph. It had to be as well. The big fella was going at him.
Ayton again, Smith, no look pass finds Sykes. Wide they come to Cockayne, and Cockayne gets in the corner.
He got there on his knees. Tremendous effort.
Crowder disgruntled and a bit upset that Wakefield were allowed to continue on with that movement. They believed that there was a couple of knock-ons, but the referee wiped the tackle count down. They gave them 6 more, and Ben Cockayne has made sure that they take full advantage of it.
Well, what we got to see, Eddie, is Tim Smith's passing game. This is the question. Well, that looked like it might have hit Joe Mellor first. Well, he's wiped the tackle count on this and put Wakefield in a very good position. Of course, Tim Smith is able to step up again. No look pass. And then Paul Sykes, another great ball on the end. Ben Cockayne, strength, presence of mind, on his knees to cross the line. It's a well-constructed try again from the Wildcats.
A welcome return to try-scoring form for Ben Cockayne, and he draws the applause from his coach, Richard Agar. Ben Cockayne hadn't scored for 4 matches until that point, and with England coming a-calling next month for the Exiles game on the 14th of June, you'd never know.
Well, it was a great effort, a good combination as well by the two halfbacks. Tim Smith looking for this fella who was trying to convert Paul Sykes. Great finish, though, by Ben Cockayne.
And Sykes, difficult degree of angle, 41 metres away from the post, so this the most difficult kick of the night for either side. He's settled. And it's just gone the wrong side of the post. So 16-6 it stays.
I thought it was a great finish from Ben Cockayne, and sometimes it's difficult to assess how good a winger is when he's playing in a side that's in the lower half of the table. I guess that's the difficult thing now for Steve McNamara when he's picking the England team. Is Ben Cockayne one of the best finishers in this competition? Do we value what he does and what he provides, the enthusiasm that he brings to the Wildcats outfit?
Well, it's very rare, Phil, that you find a winger, you see them step off their boots, either left or right, but to do it off your knee, it's quite tremendous.
12 minutes to half-time. Wakefield with tails up, and this is Chris Anakin, formerly with the Shawcross Boys Club, close to somebody's heart on this commentary gantry.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
I meant the club, not the player necessarily, but there you go. I'll accept your judgment.
Both the club and the player. Oh, great offload.
Ayton is in the mood, isn't he?
Certainly is. I mean, when you scored a try very, very early in the piece, it's a real fillip.
And Smith's attempted kick through comes off the knees of Joe Mellor.
I can't believe that. Right, Wakefield, 16-6, 10 points in front. They're allowing the fullback Lee Smith to come on and kick like that when they've got the ability of both Paul Sykes and Tim Smith. Control the game.
Well, what they've allowed Widnes to do is work into a position where they might be able to release their fullback, Reece Hanbury. He's been one of the star players of this season so far. Here he is on the ball now, and he's dangerous in space, Eddie.
He is, and he's quick. And he's showing out quick because he gets that away. And it was, I think, flicked out by a Wakefield hand.
Yeah, the fullback did very well. He knew he couldn't get the pace to get into the corner.
He's just given head and feed, by the way, while we watch this to Wakefield, Ben Cross.
It shouldn't be.
And, no,
he's
there
on
it
touch.
is. He's in touch. That's great work by touch judge and referee.
They called it right on that occasion. The reason I picked him out to speak about, we cover him on Stats Back quite often. The opposition players select him and John Clark, especially in the last 5 or 6 weeks. It's been one of those two players has been the standout Widnes performer. Reece Hanbury needs to get the ball with a little bit of space, and he's got the pace. He's probably the quickest on the field here tonight. He's got the pace to exploit any sort of defence.
Well, now it's Widnes who will try and pen Wakefield back, but with this guy, Ayton, he really does get them moving on the front foot from the play the ball, and they have speed to burn on either wings with Fox and Cockayne.
Well, he has a point to prove, doesn't he, Paul Ayton? As you said earlier, he's a very surprised admission in the Exiles side.
And that's a grapple tackle round the throat. Gareth Hock penalised.
Yeah, we talk so often about his positives, but that is the negative part of his game, and it's just silly play. Remember, the last time they gave away a penalty from this position, Wakefield added more points to the scoreboard. You can't afford to do that. If you're going to get yourself back into the game, you're going to make sure that you have the confidence to do the tackling without giving away penalties.
Here's Chris Anakin again. Midway inside the Widnes half of the field. Eventually disentangles himself from the defender. Amor takes it forward. Screams of forward pass from the terraces, but the referee keeps the whistle in his pocket. Here is Tim Smith again. Gets the ball away brilliantly to Ikes, and Sykes gets it to Reece Lynn. Scrambling Widnes defence. The line's under threat again here. It always is when it's in his hands. And this fellow as well, Ayton.
Will he go early with the kick? Interesting.
Good tackling in the end there by Chris Dean. Here is Smith. He does go early. Angled kick. Oh! And this could be a try for Ben Cockayne. Because that ricocheted away from the defender. Reece Hanbury, wasn't it? So there's a couple of things to check here, and it could be second try of the night for Ben Cockayne.
I think it is, Eddie. It ricocheted away.
Don't you think he knocks on, Mike, before he grounds it?
Well, it's certainly a little bit of a bobble. That is for sure.
Checking the onside first, and that's okay.
Yeah, that is it. Spot on. We said would they go early, and they did. They didn't wait for the last one. It ricochets away. Does he get a fingertip to this? Oh, I don't think.
That could be a try.
The first grounding is short.
Yes, but if he's pulled it to his body and not lost control of it, Steve-O, he might have rolled over and managed to touch it down.
This is where Phil believes there might have been
I think there's
knock
some
on.
contact with the ball.
Well, does he lose it, or is it Mellor that knocks it away? Now, he gets the ball. He's got to see now whether he has lost control of it.
That's looks to me to hit his left-hand thigh, but whether or not before that it's hit his hand, Phil, you're talking about, hit his right hand down to his knee.
I think it's the left hand that they're looking at. It's that left hand with all the tattoos down the arm.
It's a tough one, this, for Steve Ganson.
It's short there. What's this? That's a knock on.
Yeah, knock on.
It was a little one. And it was just short of the line.
Well, Hanbury and Widnes will be relieved about this.
Will they ever? This is a lifeline.
And it's first knock-on was by Widnes. So it's the first knock-on, and it means that Wakefield will get head and feet at the scrum.
Well, it was a confident play by Tim Smith. He only had one chaser, but he did alert Ben Cockayne to the fact that he was going to reverse kick it. Drew an awful lot of attackers out to his right-hand side, but hinted to Ben Cockayne, stay alive on my left, I'm going to kick it back to you. Only one chaser, so he had to get his kick on the mark. He's won his team a scrum in great position.
He has. Danger's not over here for Widnes. This is Dean Collis.
Steady, steady.
Well, they lifted him, and three of them dumped him to the ground. It's Sykes. Pops the ball up here for Anakin again.
Paul Sykes is coming wide of Tim Smith. The combination will be on again, perhaps.
Here is Smith. And there is a beautiful ball, but forward.
Pass, yeah. He just delayed it. Disappointment on the face of Richard Agar. He knows the capabilities of this man, Tim Smith.
I don't think Smith believes it was forward, and I don't know whether it was.
It was touch and go, wasn't it? It looked level.
Level at worst, and watch where Tim Smith ends up after the pass. He's over the line, and that's on or behind the line.
I've seen them given.
It's a massive play in this game. A 10-point lead for the Wildcats. Probably a result of the... I just think they've run very, very hard in this game. In the last two matches, they've struggled at times to make ground, get themselves downfield, and pick up the meters you need to get into your opponent's half. But not the case tonight here. Look, over 100 meters more than their opponents so far, and it's clearly one of the areas in which they are far the more dominant team.
Well, it's all about taking that opportunity, and certainly Wakefield, it looked as though they were going to run away with this match, but they've had that try turned down, the opportunity. Widnes, of course, they've had two golden opportunities, and I'm afraid have not taken them.
Winterstein looking to offload, goes down, tackle number 5, so here comes the last, and they come down the short side with Hanbury, who dabs it down the line. Lee Smith allows it to bounce again. It's picked up by Dean. It's Mellor. Oh, and Lee Smith, he hesitated, he doubted himself, he doubted the bounce, and Widnes didn't give up the chase. And Joe Mellor comes up with try number 3 of 2013. Well, there have been some turns and twists in this first half.
Well, it's an amazing game. So many opportunities. It's really not on, is it? And it's amazing. Willie Isa didn't realise. He looked at Lee Smith and said, surely you're going to get this. But it's actually Willie Isa that gets a boot to it, I think. Either way, it bounced nicely. Joe Mellor, he's not arguing. They're back in the game. When only seconds ago, it looked as though Cockayne had scored his second try that would surely have put them in at half-time. The visitors, Wakefield, with a commanding lead. But Dennis Betts, he knows that they have pulled themselves out of the mire.
They have. They might just have played their get-out-of-jail-free card here, Widnes. And if Patrick Arvan adds the extras, it's very close as we approach half-time. (16-10) this kick now. It's 16-12, 4 points in it.
No Richie Mathers for the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats. So they did shift Lee Smith there, and he has played that position before, but he hasn't covered himself in glory on this occasion. A good player, but he'll know looking back at that, that's the fullback's ball all day long. He had a glance at Ben Cockayne thinking maybe it's his ball. Not at all. You're running forward. It's your job to clean this ball up, and I think he would have got to it with relative ease if he had backed himself.
Well, he was in two minds, wasn't it? He really should have put his body on the line and gone down and covered it. It looked as though he said, I'll use the foot, and then, but that hesitation cost him.
Well, you can understand why he had just a little flicker through the mind, because remember what happened to him for the first Widnes try when the ball bounced horribly and he didn't know what it was going to do off this surface. I know John Wells said pre-match we shouldn't be talking about the pitch, but it does put doubts in the mind of certain players.
Well, it's been proven, hasn't it? Simple as that.
John Clark picks it up one-handedly. And Widnes looking to do even better as they get up to half-time. Winterstein will play the ball to his captain, left-footed. Clark
great vision.
thumps the ball downfield. And this will skip, and it's a great kick. It's a tremendous kick, and it's not a bad chase either, and he's trapped back there, but not in goal. He can play it.
Wonderful, wonderful vision by the captain, John Clark.
Look at Widnes here, they're hunting the mistake here.
And for the first time tonight, the crowd are behind them. They're hunting the error, and it may come with defence like that. Oh, Ben Cross has gone in and said, let's finish him off. Who wants it now, boys?
Great defensive set by Widnes. They're really turning the screw. That's a good run. That's a very good run from Ben Cockayne to relieve a bit of the pressure.
Yeah, he's having a fine game.
Ayton, now the kick. Little intelligent kick, but held back to John Clark. They have a bit of space over on that far side, but it was quickly closed down by Collis as he brought Cameron Phelps to ground. Here is John Clark, who gets it away to Lloyd White.
That was a try saver, Dean Collis. There was no one outside him on that left-hand side.
Well, Widnes were hunting the mistake. They were hunting the possession deep inside Wakefield territory, and they got it. And here is Joseph, and they're halfway through this, which might be their last set of 6 in this first half. We shall see. Lloyd White.
Got to look for that second phase. There's Mellor shouting out the orders.
Clark to Joseph. Back it comes to Brown. He just dropped the shoulder, bounced off Danny Kermond. That's the last coming up. 5 gone.
Into the in-goal area. Little dribble. That's what's needed.
Clark. That's exactly what he does. And Sykes with work to do. And they trap him in goal. They're going to get another set of 6, Widnes.
That's all you need to do. Apply the pressure. Good work. Good thinking. Please the coach, Dennis Betts.
Well, it is great pressure. Steve,
it was a beautiful kick by John Clark. Sorry.
No, you're right, it absolutely was a great kick. You called for it and he delivered, and it's great pressure from the Widnes Vikings. But Wakefield's architects of their own downfall sometimes. Last tackle in the previous set, and they try and dribble the ball through from the 20-metre line when they've been put under pressure. They needed to kick that as long as they could a little bit earlier, get it downfield. Widnes aren't worried about that. They got a chance now before the final whistle goes in this first half. Try and cross the line.
And they'll come back with Brown and Joseph. We're entering the last minute of this first half, and Widnes trailing 16 points to 12. Could have been much worse. One try chalked off by the video referee as Lloyd White takes the ball in, and Kermond gets him down, the Wakefield skipper. The Widnes captain, John Clark's at dummy half. He finds Brown. Brown then finds Mellor. Mellor finds Hambry. Hambry comes wide to
Ison has dropped it. Disappointment etched on the face of Dennis Betts.
I think he might have overrun this.
He does. They do. The build-up is fantastic. He should have just delayed it, but he had to reach back for it. It happens so often with wingers these days. And he knows it, as Dennis Betts. He had the opportunity there to at least level the scores. Can't believe it.
It's so much easier for Ison to make the ground up going forward than have to try and reach back, stop and lean and get a pass. You got to give yourself a little. He got to time his run off Rhys Hanbury on that occasion. I don't think he did. I think he timed it on the man inside him. If he had timed it off Hanbury and held back a second, he would have caught that Steve-O and scored.
We call that white line fever, don't we? They get a little bit excited.
Well, Chris Anakin felt that from Gareth Hawk. Oh, Sykes comes up with the error.
Well, they'll be playing the ball as slowly as possible.
Cameron Phelps really can't do that with Paul Sykes on the deck, looking to get away with it. Kyle Amor.
Good refereeing, though,
grounded.
Eddie. You know, everybody's tense, everybody's up for it, and you just say, let's play on. Look at this fella. When the tough gets going, he gets going in the toughness, doesn't he?
Well, that's one way of putting it, I suppose.
We got it there in the end.
Back to front way, but we know what you mean. And Ayton will take the final tackle of the first half. A vibrant first half. Started with a try in the first minute by that man.